Hi everyone, welcome to the Spring Framework Bootcamp. Okay, so now in this video, let's set up our Spring MVC project. Fine, let's set up our Spring MVC project from scratch, from basic. Okay, so please be focused and stay with me. Okay, let's start the video. Fine, so at very first thing, go to your favorite browser and type Spring Initializer. Okay, go to this link and you will land here. Okay, same thing. Now give your project name. I'll give it as a first MVC project. Okay, first Spring MVC project. Spring okay, everything is same. Now next is add the dependency. Add web dependency. See, in this video I'm gonna show you that how you can add the dependency from the external source. Okay, there are a few dependencies which are not available here. So how you can add the dependency from the external source. Okay, later in this video. Fine, everything is done. Now click on the generate. So it will give me, let me save it. So it will give me a zip file and yeah, let me go there, extract my zip file, extract all, extracted. Okay, let me go to my Eclipse, import the file, import Maven, existing Maven project, browse. Okay, where is the file present? Yeah, here it is. Select folder and finish it. Okay, here it is. Go to the pom.xml file and you can see, let me zoom it, you can see there is one dependency which we have added, that is the web dependency, Spring Boot starter web. Okay, there is one more dependency, test dependency, which is pre-added. Okay, now let me run my application. Okay, let me run my application. How to run it? Run as Java application. Observe carefully. See, my application is running. Observe carefully this line. Tomcat started on port 8080. Okay, Tomcat is a server and my server is started on port 8080. We can also change it, so I'll show you later. Fine. Now let me go to the browser and see the output. Okay, so how to see the output? First we'll write localhost. Why localhost? Because we are running our application on local machine. Okay, and then colon port number 8080. Okay, you can see there is a default page open, white label error page. That means our server is up and running. Fine, and the error page is showing because we have not configured it. Okay, later I'll show you how to configure. Okay, from scratch, don't worry. Fine. Now the important thing. Okay, Spring MVC. See, what we have done is already we have did in the Spring Boot lectures. Fine. Now my requirement. Okay, my requirement is when I run the application, when I run my application, I want a message that is hello world to be display in the browser. This is my requirement. See, I told you na, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna teach you from scratch. I'm gonna teach you how to set up Spring MVC using the example. Okay, no one can even teach you like that way. Okay, so when I run the application, I want a message should be displayed that is hello world in the browser. Okay, currently you can see there is one error message, but I don't want it. I want a simple hello world message. Fine. How to achieve it? Okay, so to achieve it, we need to set up our Spring MVC project, and to set up our Spring MVC project, we need to configure few things. The very first thing, we need to configure view layer. Okay, what is view layer? See, view layer, HTML front end. Okay, HTML pages, view layer. So we need to configure it. Okay, fine. Second thing, we need to configure controller layer. Okay, we need to configure controller layer. How to configure? Okay, what is controller layer? I'll tell you later in this video. Don't worry. Fine. So first, let's see how to configure view layer. Please be focused because I'm gonna show you how we configure our view layer first in a theoretical way in detail, and then we'll go into our application and then configure there. Fine. So there are 3 steps to configure view layer. The most important part of this video. The 3 steps to configure view layer. Rest all are easy, very easy. The first step, we need to add the views. Okay, what is views? HTML pages, I told you. We need to add the views. Now there is one question from your side. Okay, how? How? Okay, the answer is we're gonna create files by the extension name .jsp. Stands for Java Server Pages. Okay, index.jsp, home.jsp. Okay, if you know a little bit about front end, then in front end, how we create our HTML files, index.html, okay, login.html, similarly, but the extension should be .jsp. Why? Okay, yeah, again valid question. Why? Why? Because in JSP files, or I can write JSP file support both HTML plus Java coding. JSP file support both HTML plus Java coding. That's why we will use JSP. Same thing, just like we used to code HTML in .html files, same thing. But how to code Java in JSP file? Don't worry, I'm there for you. Okay, just remember this thing. Another question. Okay, we need to add the view. Fine. How? We'll create the files by the name by the extension name .jsp. Okay. Why? Because in JSP file we can write both HTML plus Java. Okay. Now another question. Where? Where we gonna create it? See here. When we go to our project, so where we gonna create? In src in Java, in resources, in this folder src target, where? Yeah, valid question. So we're gonna create in src folder. In the src folder there is one main folder. Okay, so in the main folder we'll create one folder that is web app. Okay, there is a notation. Fine. So we need to follow the same notation. Okay, in the src you can see there is one folder src. Okay, in the src there is a folder main folder. In the main folder we need to create one web app folder. In the web app folder we need to create another folder web.inf. Okay, web.inf all should be in the uppercase. In the web.inf we'll create one more folder views. Okay, and in the views folder we'll kept all our views like index.jsp, home.jsp, login.jsp. Okay, fine. Are you with me? Are you got the first step? Okay, see how in detail I'm explaining. Fine. The next step, step number 2. We need to add the dependencies. Okay, for JSP file. Okay, for the contents of JSP. Fine. What dependencies? Yeah, definitely. So we need to add Tomcat Jasper, the first dependency. Second is JSTL. Okay, and we're gonna see how we add this dependency externally from the external source. Okay, fine. So there's nothing to explain in that. Third thing, okay, and the one of the most important step, that is we need to inform Spring that the location the location or where our JSP files are located. We need to inform Spring that where our JSP files are located. Okay, so how to do that? To achieve that, we're gonna use application.yml file. We'll create a YAML file. Okay, in src main resources. Fine. So this is what the 3 steps. Okay, fine. Now let's configure our view layer. It's very simple. We'll just follow these steps. What the first step? We need to add the view. Okay, how? We'll create the JSP files. Where? Here. Okay, let's go to the project. Let me stop this. Okay, let me console. Okay, yeah, so our first step is we need to add the file where? In src main. In src main we need to create one folder, web app. Okay, and then web.inf. So in the main we need to create one folder, that is web app. Okay, web app. Fine. In that we need to create another folder, that is web.inf. Web.inf, all should be in uppercase. In that we need to create another folder, that is views. Okay, in that let's create our first view, that is home.jsp. Okay, .jsp. Done. Second thing is we need to add the dependencies Tomcat, Jasper and JSTL. Okay, go to your browser and type Tomcat, Jasper and MVN. Okay, so you can see there is one website, MVN repository. Click on it. Okay, and you can see there are different versions of this Tomcat Jasper dependency. Click on the first link, copy it, come to your application, open pom.xml, and here you can see there is one web dependency. Just below it add the copied dependency. Fine. So one dependency added. What is the second dependency? JSTL. Same thing. Okay, same thing. Let me again repeat. JSTL. Okay, JSTL. MVN. Whatever dependency you need, just write the dependency name and MVN. Enter it. Okay, so yeah, click on it and at the very first link 1.2, copy it, go to your pom.xml, paste it here. Okay, and then save it and then go to the project, update Maven project, and which project I need to update? This project. Okay, fine. So it updated my project with these dependencies. Okay, done, fine. 2 steps are completed. Third step, we need to inform Spring that where our JSP files are located using application.yml. Now please be focused here. Let me close this. You can see in the src bin resources there is one more file, that is application.properties. Okay, we are not going to use this file. Rather, we'll create application.yml file. Same thing. If you are confident in properties, then you can use it, but we are not going to use it. Why? Because to avoid the repetition, in properties file there is huge repetition. Okay. Second thing, YML file supports list and map. Okay. Third thing is readability, and YML file is generally more preferable than the properties file. Fine. So let's create the YML file and let's convert this line into the YML, and let me teach you how you can write at your own the YML coding. Okay. So first let me create the file application.yml. Okay. Now let me just keep it side by side. Okay. This is the key, this is the value. Okay, fine. Now how to convert it? Be focused here. Okay, stay with me. Spring. Spring. Okay. Dot. Colon. Enter. Space. Space. Fine. Okay. Application. Application. Again dot. That means colon. Colon. Enter. And then space. Space. How many space you have given? Okay. The same space you need to give for every dot, for every colon after enter. Okay. Now name. Name. Okay, see, after it I'm gonna show you like the drawbacks of properties file. Fine. So name. Now the key is over. Okay, here is the value. So colon and space and write the value. Okay, now you'll ask me that what is the difference? Okay, so let me tell you. Suppose I want to write the package name in properties file. So I'll write it as spring, spring, spring dot application dot package. Okay, package. Suppose I want to write the URL, so I'll write it at spring dot data source dot something URL. Suppose I want to write the username, so spring dot data source dot username. Suppose I want to write the password, so spring dot data source dot password. So you can see spring is continuously repeating, and in these first two properties spring dot application, spring dot application repeated just two things, and complete spring dot application is repeated. Fine. But in case of YML, how to write the package name? Simple. Spring already written, application already written, spring application, spring application, just a package. Okay, package. Fine. So you can directly start from here, because spring application already written. When you suppose you want to write spring dot data source, so spring already written. Now you need to start from this line. Okay, so enter it, and from this line. Okay, data source, and then write other like data source dot, so data source dot URL whatever. Okay, got it? Got it? How to write in YML file? Okay, so YML is largely used. That's why we're gonna use YML throughout all our projects. Okay, fine. Now let me delete this properties file. Delete it. Delete it. Okay, we don't need it. So our step number 3. Our step number 3 is we need to inform Spring the location of JSP files. Where JSP files are present? Our JSP files are present at src, main, web app, webinf, views, and here. Okay, so we need to inform Spring the folder structures. Fine. How? Spring MVC view now prefix and suffix. Okay, prefix. web inf and views. Fine. Suffix dot JSP. Fine. Now why I've written prefix, why suffix? I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you when we configure the controller layer. Okay, just remember we need to inform Spring the location of JSP files by doing this configuration in YML file. Okay, why? I'm gonna show you in the controller layer. Okay, so we have done all the three steps. And uh, we have configured our view layer. View layer is ready. Fine. Now in the view layer, in the home.jsp, let's write one message. h1 hello world. Okay, see, I told you JSP file supports HTML plus Java. So you can write the HTML in the same way as we used to write in the .html files. Okay, so I've written one message, that is hello world. Fine. Now I want this message to be displayed in the browser when I run my application. And here the controller comes into the picture. Controller. We need to configure the controller layer. Okay, so let's configure it. In the src main Java, here let's create one package dot controller. Okay, in that package let me create one class, that is home controller. Okay, home controller. Fine, the class is created. Now let's write one annotation, controller. Okay, controller. Now whenever you write annotation controller on any class, that means that class is used for handling the request. Okay, handling the request. Now what is request? Okay, what is request? Amazon. Okay, Amazon. So whenever you open amazon.com, okay, a home page will open. Okay, home page of Amazon. Now you can see this is the URL. When you are hitting the URL, this page should open, home.jsp. When you hit suppose amazon.com/products, there is another page will open. Okay, so the URL is now amazon.com/product and another page will open. Suppose amazon.com/product/t-shirts or shirts, another page will open which shows all the shirts. So what is this? When you are hitting a specific URL, as an output you are getting some view. As an output you are getting some view. Okay, so who is handling this request? Who is handling? The request is handled in a controller. Okay, fine. Now in the same way we'll handle the request and show the home.jsp, that is show the hello world in the browser. Fine. Okay, so let's create one method, public string. Why string? I'm gonna tell you. Message. Okay, message. Fine. Return home. This name should be our view name. View. Okay, now that's why here you go that's why as a prefix in the application.yml, what we have done, we have informed Spring that okay, this is the location of my JSP files. Why we have informed? Because here we are just giving the name of the view. What is the name of the view? The name of the view is home.jsp. So here we will give just home, and Spring will connect as a prefix webinf views slash home and the suffix as .jsp. So it will become webinf slash views slash home and then suffix .jsp. So a complete address, and then it will render the home.jsp page on a particular specific URL. Okay, on a particular specific URL. Fine. Now the only one thing remaining is giving the URL. Okay, so there is one annotation we'll write on the method, that is request mapping. Will map the request, this request, to a particular URL, whatever the name you want to keep. Suppose message. Fine. So now when we hit the message URL, okay, the request will come here, and then it is returning the home.jsp page. Okay, now let me run the application. So my application is up and running. Okay, Tomcat is on. Tomcat is started on port 8080. Go to the browser. Okay, now let me just type localhost and 8080. Enter it. Again same white label error page. Fine. Now let me write slash message. Okay, so slash message. See here, hello world. Why? Because when we hit the URL pattern, that is slash message, then there is one method present which handle the request and returning the home. What is home? Home is our view. Okay, just like amazon.com slash products. Fine. The method is handling the request. Okay, now what's our requirement? Our requirement is we want to display a hello world message when we run the application. We want to display the message. Initially here, when we are hitting this @message URL pattern, then we are displaying hello world. No, just when we run the application. Here, localhost 8080. No URL pattern. So simple. Remove this. Just add request mapping. Okay. Run application. Okay, rerun the server. In the next video I'm gonna show you that there is no required of rerun the server. Okay, just like a live server we used to do in our HTML, we'll do the same thing. Okay, so now let me hit again. See, localhost 8080 and @world, hello world. Get my point? So this is what the project setup. Okay, and this is what our first MVC project. From the next video we are going to build the projects like form handling, okay, and e-voting application. The voting application we have built. Okay, so we'll convert that application and we'll build the application using MVC design pattern. Okay, MVC architecture. Fine. So this is what all about the video. I hope you get a clear-cut understanding of all the steps, how we configure. Okay, I told you step by step, like how we configure our view layer, step 1, step 2, step 3, and the controller layer. Okay, plus the YML coding. The YML you can also, okay, so just practice it. Okay, by practicing you'll become master in YML. Fine. So this is what all about the video, the setup, in the next video. From the next video we'll start our projects. Fine. So if you like the video, then please subscribe, share and comment. Okay, thank you.